Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have a 3v4 for you guys today, and the start of it is very interesting. I'm playing as the USA once more, and my unfamiliarity with this deck is about to prove catastrophic. So of course, 3v4 means that we have better individual income, but our opponents, the 4 players on Team 2, have better micro. So, local responses might be more overwhelming on our side, but overall, they should have better control. And right off the bat, my longbow should not be out here alone. If I'd sent a DAP, that would be a dead Mi-24D, potentially even a dead Sokol. And the longbow is trying to get back, trying to land even, but gets taken out there. And then I'm pretty much at the start fighting against 2 people. So Kopja and Hypno are both here. Gamma 2, Helicopter Rush on this side. And I have a lone Pivads trying to answer as my forward forces are taken out. This is V150, I lost track of them, to be honest. And then the rest of it, I was trying to get it over to the woods, or, I don't know, maybe bring it over to golf, or something, and I unloaded everything in a panic. So, sometimes the pressure of this game is very high, and when that happens, you can panic, just like I did right here, and when it happens with an unfamiliar deck, then you don't necessarily know which answers to get either. I did start with a Raven, that wasn't a panic buy, it was just sort of something I wanted to have come out here, just to see if I could take out anything for free and maybe force my opponents to buy something instead of, continue to push me. But the HA Abrams is moving up, I have a Hawk Pip 3 moving up with its guns off right now, and the Pivads going forward as well, trying to screen out against those Gammas or anything else up here, and there is a plane coming in from Hypno. We do also see an M84AN right there, and I was hoping to kill it with the HA Abrams if I can get that gun online, but that's a MiG-29 912A. Bit of an interesting choice that early to see the napalm bomber there, and I'm not quite sure what he was trying to hit, but he does get taken out. And then on the right-hand side, my infantry that went really far forward, yeah, wasn't up to par. So, sort of what I was thinking about before this was, well, okay, there's 4 of them, there's 3 of us. I thought maybe they'd send 1 here, then this middle zone is huge. So I was thinking, I don't know, 1 split on either side here, 1 to Bravo, 1 to Delta, and as it turns out, it wasn't quite that simple. So I probably should have expected the double team here at the beginning from Hypno and Kopja. Well, I wouldn't have known who was doing what, and this could have been avoided by a more careful advance. I could have tried to position in golf first, brought up a couple of AA pieces first, and then sort of gotten infantry screening, scout vehicles screening, and been a meticulous push. And instead, I really just kind of messed up a little bit. So it does happen. It happens to the best of us and also to me. So if you ever have a game where you're sitting there going, whoa, 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 what the hell is happening? Yeah, you're not alone. So my objective now is as follows. I need to fill out the side here because there were some enemy movements on the right-hand side, and I need to make sure that I don't completely collapse, because if we look over on the left-hand side, well, my allies Firemelon and Horse Girl are doing just fine. So there's a big engagement going on here. Motschützen sparring with Fusiliers and Assault Pioneers and all of that, but the local force superiority seems to lay with Horse Girl, who has Commandos 90, taking out some of those supporting vehicles and lots and lots and lots of infantry to handle that grind, while Firemelon is just, it's a decent spot in Bravo here if you can sort of fan out and head toward Bravo, but he's trying to help me out as well, so many thanks to Firemelon basically for keeping me alive in this game, as Cefa E was up there using all 4 of those Stingers and all the rocket pods, and then he's also trying to pad out some of my ground forces on this side, as well as cap golf, which, I don't know, that was, we're bleeding a +2, which is now a +1 for our opponents for a little while, so it was a nice thing to try to get. And here's where I make another mistake. So BRDM 2 Conquerors. These guys have 20 AP power, and if I had retreated the normal way, well, my HA Abrams could have taken that fire day in and day out. But instead, I saw the missiles coming in, I thought to myself, let's get back to these trees, and because I presented side armor, down goes a 140-point tank. So this situation could have gone a lot better than it did, and the reason it didn't is entirely my fault. So H1J Cobra on the side, double stack of these, not double stack, but they're very close together. Then I'm also trying to get a Black Hawk with command infantry forward into Echo to cap here, because if we can counter cap Echo, that goes to from a +1 to a +0 for our opponents, and basically my only intention here is to survive somehow, some way. This is the only thing that I will, I'm losing this game right now, far be it for me to criticize my opponents, but had they just taken everything and kept pushing, I'm pretty sure that would have been catastrophic, because I have some Super M60s here, I have a DAP, I have Rangers, I have Pivads, and all this, but the T-72 M1 Jaguar is supported by Sokals, by Gamma 2s, and by more reinforcements and resources than I currently have available, as so much of my stuff has been lost. Super M60s, I mean, the rate of fire on these guys is not bad, 10 rounds a minute, and I'm just trying to pound into that Jaguar through sheer weight of numbers, but the M60s are taking a bit more damage per shot. Gamma 2 is firing in, Mi-24Ds firing in, we do lose one of them, and my Cobra is taken out by a Promet. I do love this vehicle. It's very similar to the Soviet Skrzhet, and both of them are just amazing for anti-helicopter work, very cheap, and they can bring your infantry forward as well. So looking on this side, it's a little bit hard to tell what's going on in that field of green there, but we do have a MiG-29 912A, another Thermo MiG coming in from Rapid Chicken, and this has the potential to be very deadly, but it might be a bit of friendly fire as well. So that is the one Thermo Bomber, I guess, in the game. It does HE damage in addition to the napalm, and you can see right there it did kill a lot, but some of that was Red 4 infantry as well. I mean, potentially worth it, but jeez, that's cutting off your nose despite the enemy's face, as it were. So most of my units here are gone. Pivats was able to retreat just for right now, but another thing that really went wrong in this game is my Radar AA micro. So Radar AA pieces, generally you don't want them on unless they're in use. The issue is then turning them off, managing the rest of this, trying to salvage a bad situation, and then forgetting, I have this Hawk Pit 3 over here, it's kind of surrounded by Rangers and all of this other stuff, and, well, it's in a good position, really. Center of the map, decent range against planes, 45, 50, 60% accuracy, and 9 HE. This could be a very valuable piece. But if I never turn the gun back on when enemy planes are coming around, well, that's just not going to happen. So units are only good they're only as good as your use of them. And this is another thing we're going to be able to see very soon as my longbow's sort of scouting forward. I did think we killed the Promet, so maybe that would be fine. Raven coming in as well, just looking for any sort of Radar AA. And this is an issue. So I see the Twardy, I see the BTR-40s, I'm moving my longbow over to sort of try to fend them off, and there's a double squad of Sokals here. These guys individually can take out my longbow, no questions asked. My Pivads is in the wrong position at the wrong time, is going to be drawing fire from a Twardy, who I'm then shooting in at. But let's take a look at this. First we get the BTR-40. I wish we didn't. I was right-clicking on the Twardy as much as I could. 4 points of damage, ripple fire, second volley is only one more hit, down to 2 strength on that Twardy. And we have one more shot, not 2. It takes out the vehicle in front of him, so it was aimed at the Twardy, hit the vehicle in front, does save the Twardy, and then down goes my longbow to the double spot of Sokals, pushed forward up and over my own riflemen and dying infantry and transports who cannot stand up to a Twardy on their own. And this was something where I decided, you know what, this is not the right buy, but I want it to happen. So Nighthawk coming in, and those Paveway 3s are going right for that Twardy. Of course, right-clicked directly on him, so it should be nice and centered, and kaboom. So we get some revenge there by killing the Twardy. Seedplane coming in, and this is something that was interesting. So my Pivad is on, now it's off, and that guy is evac ordered. Probably could see the Pivads and then stopped being able to see the Pivads. And this is what I was talking about earlier. I have a Pivads and a Blackhawk, and that's it. So I'm pretty sure that Kopcha probably could have pushed me out of here had he known just how weak I was at the time. So there'll be more going on there in just a minute, but I think it is worthwhile taking a look at Horse Girl and Firemelon's push on this side. Challenger 1, Mark 1's leading the way, and these guys, I don't particularly love Commonwealth tanks, but, I mean, hey, they see good use. Kronos 2000 also coming in, does take a little bit of fire there from what looked like some IRAA, but Geogostai and, well, I mean, these guys are a little isolated. They will slaughter Rovai in the open, but there's enough potential fire support coming in once these Mochutsen are dead as well to clear that up. Stormer is going to be clearing out an Mi-17, and never underestimate those guys. They're HE rockets, but they can do decent work against side armor of even some heavier tanks. Fusiliers 90 are now making their way up to Delta, and this is potentially worrisome for the Red 4 team. Bravo has been capped, Echo's counter-capped, Delta is potentially being invaded, Foxtrot for some reason hasn't been capped yet, and this is giving us a +2, despite my abysmal field position here. And now, hey, I'm getting reinforcements on the ground. So we have Scout Infantry and the V-150s, just depositing them very early, trying to make sure that there isn't anything that's going to be ambushing me too badly here. Estrelza does take out my Blackhawk, and that's kind of why he was still there. I wanted to see you know, my opponents can't advance past him while he's still there without shooting at him. So expensive unit to do that with, but sort of my only option at the time. Another round of Thermo-MiGs. This was absolutely beautiful and brutal at the same time, but only one of them drops, and so the other Thermo-MiG is taken out. But, I mean, jeez, can you imagine if they had both dropped here? That's dead Fusiliers, that's a dead Assault Pioneers, probably some of the transports as well, and, I mean, the Revenge Bombing one was nice. But MiG-23 MLs are circling, and these guys are very much not friendly at all. Not the most high performing, but they don't need to be if they have the numbers. Mi-4T coming over here, and this is what I said about my micro. My Hawk Pip is still off. It needs to be turned on. It could have killed that guy very easily before he got anywhere close. But I'm looking over here at the time. So my Rangers moving forward, Riflemen moving forward, these vehicles trying to get some sort of fire support in, and I don't have a force on the ground to anchor it yet. My HA Abrams is still coming in. Nighthawk may be able to do something about it, and we're going in after the Topaz 2As. I wish I'd come over here next to those helicopters. We could, of course, have killed all of them, but we do smack some Commandosi, and that is a worthwhile thing as well. So, Riflemen, I mean, hey, we have the numbers. We might be able to wear them down, but there's a lot of fire support here for my opponent as well. DAP is going to be screening out, though, and now we do get shots in on the Sokols, but return fire, not one, but two missiles right off the bat, and those Sokols claim another helicopter of mine. Just brutal, brutal work this entire game. So Barak from Firemelon comes in, takes out one of them, is potentially able to get out, but under a lot of fire, even an enemy Manpad's team shooting in from the town. He does get out, and that's good, because that means he can come back and help me later on. So selfishly, I'm very happy with this. Delta is more than halfway invaded, I'd say, and if we can countercap that, then the numbers just keep going up. One of the MiG-23 is taken out, Eurofighters chasing the other, but evac orders that don't want to get out over the Red 4 AA net, and we're back fighting against Commandosi on this side as well. Tsefa from Firemelon kind of saving my ass once more, and I didn't have nearly good enough recon here. So I thought the Rangers would be moving up. I kind of mismicroed that a little bit, and yeah, it is what it is. I mean, the HA Abrams, when he gets shot at, will be able to get good return fire, but that's risky if there's a super heavy, and this is a T-72 M1 Wilk. It's 18 AP power, and the 20 frontal armor is the only thing saving me, as that Abrams is very much impervious to the Wilk's main gun, unless he closes to a decent range. But at that same range, I have 20 AP, and he has much lighter armor, and down goes the Wilk. So, I mean, hey, I'm happy with this tank. It's performing as it should, and it is allowing me to get some sort of salvageable engagement on this side, so long as I don't lose him needlessly. Another M1 Wilk coming in, but again, against HA Abrams, yeah, I'll take that fight any day of the week and twice on Sundays. I mean, it's a 90-point tank versus 140. It should be that way, right? If it wasn't that way, then your 140-point tank just isn't doing what it's supposed to. But this Abrams does find some Niebieski Berety in the woods, and this is the thing about Niebieski Berety. They're 25 points, and they have 14 AP power on heat rockets, which, I mean, they can do guaranteed damage against the HA Abrams, but they're not going to kill him with that, not anywhere close to it. Here's an issue as well. Nighthawk comes in. For some reason, I think I lost vision, and the Nighthawk is sort of struggling to find his targeting, and yeah, look at that. Taken down by IRAA by the dozen, and I mean, we got the missiles off, but it was really sloppy. Hawk Pip 3 is back here trying to fend off a couple more helicopters, potentially even that Syria 30, as more pressure's coming in from Kopje trying to secure this position. But Merkava 3B and a Magat 7C Gimel from Firemelon trying to pad this out. They just kind of got here and didn't really move that far, but I mean, Assyria 30 does take out my HA Abrams. I was very mad about that. And the Block 52 is trying to get revenge, but we don't quite get him. That plane got out for free, and I was just sitting there going, you know what, some bitch. I mean, honestly, very annoying. Double stack of Hawk Pips probably could have gotten the kill where one did not. So these guys are not exceptional anti-plane on their own. It's only working as a team that you start to see those good results. Hawk Pip 3 using his last missile against the Mi-24W. We do get a hit, but not a kill against 10 strength there, and 25k is trying to answer. But, I mean, Pivots is turned on, down to 7, well, down to 3, 2, and then Kerosene leaks. I mean, he gets out. 2 strength. I was upset. Hadn't been able to really kill much of anything at all. But I do still have one HA Abrams left here, and fighting against that Wilk is potentially a good thing, and look at that. One shot, no kill. You hate to see it. Niva SC coming in here as well, and this, I was taking a bit of a chance, but I thought if he's still fast-moving, odds are he might not have turned off that guy's gun yet. So Raven's sent out immediately, and this is not a cheap piece. That's 90 points worth of radar AA, and there it goes. So pretty nice. Mi-24W on 1 point of strength, really pissing me off here. But if he comes over a little bit more, the Pivads might be able to get him. Syria 30 coming in again from Kopsha. I almost wonder if he bought 2 of them at this point. And that is going to be going after the Merkava 3B, potentially lining up a side shot as well. So let's take a look. Swing and a near kill there, as it was turned just in time to keep that Merkava 3B alive. We do get the Syria down to 1 off of a nice critical there from the Pivads, but again, not able to take him out. So if I had managed that stuff better, it would have had a much better result. In the meantime, on this side, the Hawkpip 3 here does have his gun on now, but too little too late. TACOM trying to get into a new position, and I probably should have moved them a bit farther, but I am just going to be pushing them back into the woods for right now. So, seedplane coming in, UAZ spotted, and this could be deadly. If we lose golf, we lose our +1 ticking on this side, because again, I just can't seem to hold it, and that would be really kind of rough. So Hypno is trying to get a Thermomig on the way, Block 52 and the Hawkpip answer, we do get a kill, but my TACOM get taken down, and it's hard for these guys to get out of napalm, so that's going to be a kill on my command infantry in Echo. That of course gives them Echo. Now if we lose golf, it's not just 0, it's going to be a +1 for my opponents, as yeah, it's swinging from bad to worse, and I'm trying to answer, but my answers are cheap riflemen with fire support that keeps getting killed. So M3A2 Bradley coming out, M2A2 Bradley IFVs carrying Stinger teams. I've had it with these flipping helicopters and these flipping planes, and I just want manpad teams to round out my air defenses here and replace another dead Pivads from another seedplane. So, I mean, we were hanging out, a couple of us in the Discord at the time, and the comment was made that, yeah, my Radar AA micro was kind of ass this game, but it's not always, and you guys I think have seen that. It's not perfect, but it's usually better than this. I ascribe this to 2 things. 1, unfamiliarity, and 2, abject terror. I was just sitting there going, oh my god, I can't, oh jeez, sorry about that. I can't lose this game for my team, they're doing so well, how do I avoid losing this game for my team? And then that amount of panic just is not conducive to solid play. So there is a offensive line here from Kopsha and Niebieski Beretti sparring with Riflemen, but I kind of like those odds, honestly. 25 points against 20 points here. It's stunned, supported by the M113A3s. That looks like it could be alright. In the meantime, Delta has been pretty much fully taken, and actually capped, by Horse Girl, and she and, well, I guess I'm assuming she and Firemelon are doing wonders in the center here. Countercapping Bravo, I'd imagine that's not going to be held for too long. It's very hard to countercap that zone when you have lost the center woods. In the meantime, Barak coming in, more Riflemen, more M113A3s, and then the expensive Niebieski Beretti and Pechota. These guys, no, they're pretty cheap. The expensive Niebieski Beretti are struggling, and particularly will struggle as more and more fire support gets online. Artillery coming in, and I don't know, that was alright. It did panic things, it's going to drop my accuracy a little bit. I was trying to get cheeky kills on resupply vehicles, deny your opponent his resupply, and he will eventually suffer. But more ATGMs are coming in, and I was fearing a flashback. Look at that, side armor exposed, just able to kind of turn, but saved really by the double swing and miss there from my opponent's ATGM. So really just bad play. Bad play on my part. You should never risk that. And that same Conqueror's vehicle was the one that was doing it as well, so he had the capability to kill that Abrams off the bat. T-72 M1 Jaguar spotted. I really wanted to Nighthawk him, but again, my Nighthawk is dead. Good job. Good job, Black Knight. Jeez. So, Rove 90 moving up from Firemelon, and more, I mean, Stormers just going to town here. These guys can fire against ground, but also against air, and those HT-40 NRZs are going to be facing Horse Girl's Wrath here. 1 killed. Second one, ooh, yeah, 1 shot, 1 kill there. Jeez, look at this. Another one taken down by a Javelin team, and then the remaining 2, these guys are not cheap. They're 45 points each. They are specialists against infantry in the open, maybe in forest, but definitely not anything other than that. And finally, I am getting some sort of forward progress against Kopsha here. He's basically been fighting me. The initial 2v1 has turned into a 1v1, as I think Hypno basically switched over to that side. That was his helicopter rush that got taken out. And I think he also had a couple of planes that were very expensive that died, so after that one push on this side of Echo, which has now been recapped by an Auxiliary Pekud, that was pretty much all the pressure on this side. So now I'm fighting Kopsha, and I have an income advantage. And to give Kopsha his due, even with an income advantage and even with help from my teammates, it took 20 minutes for me to recover from that opener because yeah, he had good plays. He was playing really well, and I was not. Sometimes that happens. So, 2 double stacks of Super M60 here, and I'm not sure I love this guy. The 2100 meter range on that main gun is a major detriment, but 10 rounds a minute, 60% accuracy, 15 AP is kind of okay. The thing is, max range, 14 AP is the same gun, so, well, and it shoots a little farther, so don't be tricked necessarily by the high AP on short range guns. It's not always as good as lower AP high range guns. MI24 is spotted. This guy's actually been healed up all the way up to 9 points of strength by something, and that was something I could not really deal with. I saw him, I was sitting there going, still can't get the kill. So at this point we have M163 CSs coming out, a triple stack even, trying to get that nice fire support online. 20 points each, makes that 60 points for the 3 very, very fast firing guns. We do also have a whole lot of infantry coming forward, and at this point I wanted to retake this town. I wanted to push up and forward, and I was getting advice from Canadian as well, so I think he's on Blitz Wars community a little bit more often, but he's been a real asset to helping me learn to avoid some mistakes. Not all, clearly, but it's been really nice getting that advice. So Block 52D coming out, Raven coming out to screen, and that Wilk. If I can keep him shooting, so my riflemen move out to see what was there. The Wilk fires in, I move the riflemen back, and I have a bit of a change of heart here. So my riflemen are going to turn around, start going back out. If you ever see this, turn off your main gun. Because what this means is somebody's doing to you what I'm doing to him, which is keeping that tank firing, specifically so that a Hornet can come in and kill him. So yeah, this should be pretty easy. 4 missiles on the Hornet, 2 away, 1 kill, 2 away, and that Twardy died as well. So 1 run off the Hornet and 2 very, very expensive tank kills. I mean, geez, almost 300 points. And the Hornet does also get out. In the meantime, light riflemen, V150s, Rangers, all of this supporting, firing in against Niebieski Bereti. Double stacks, so that's 50 points worth of infantry there, just getting absolutely swarmed by United States troops. Not sure the light riflemen were the right choice for the job here, but I thought if I could resecure this town and I maybe needed to get fire support going this way, that could be a good thing as well. We have a Lavi train, bomber train here from Firemelon. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, each with those, I mean, 10 bombs coming in from each one of them. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bombing train. I wonder how much it's going to hit, honestly. Looks like Twardy's going to take something in the face. Barak shooting in there. Barak dies, so does the Twardy. L-18, nice answer from the Soviet team here. Lots of MiG-23 MLs, and not able to get out in time. They get a little greedy, they get another kill, but a little bit greedy as Barak 2s are answering, and the only thing that saved that last one is the Shinov 2 running out of ammunition completely. So at this point, Kopsha was a little bit unhappy, and I can't blame him. I mean, here's the thing. He started off strong, he started off with a really good double team on this side of the board, and then he kind of got abandoned to deal with it, and not being able to seal the deal in that early couple of minutes did sort of have things cascade. Now I'm pushing back in a just ugly open ground push here, World War II tactics at their best, but we do get the M382 Bradley online against these Conquerors vehicles, and he does his work pretty well. Look at that. Not too bad. Super M60 get the other one, but we got a kill off of him. He's supposed to be sort of that passive scout until something comes by, then he absolutely wallops it. But we are using him in a bit more of an active role here, trying to get those TOW2s online. Not quite able to do so, but I mean, they're TOW2s. They're not standard TOWs. They're not even ITOWs that are still a little bit unreliable. I mean, they're not guaranteed, but it's better than nothing. And this was a nice combined arms offensive. So Rapid and Hypno are trying to fight against Horse Girl. I think what happened, what might have pulled him away, is in the early game with the success they had here and the lack of success on our left, their right, they might have said, okay, well, we need you to move over, we need to have 3 players on this side, and they kind of just left Kopsha to it. So, even income, he definitely would have had the better of me, there's no doubt about it. So, I hope to play with him again soon, because, I mean, nobody likes to have that sort of opening and not have a chance to say, hey, I mean, I can do better. We could have a better game than this, it could be a little bit more even, particularly at the start, than it was. So, another helicopter. Kopsha does surrender, and that was a little bit sad to see, but, I mean, understandable. That coming forward, and Kopsha's old helicopter is taken out. It's no longer owned by him, but we do get the kill off the DAP. Block 52 gets a couple kills, and just in the closing seconds of the game, I completely mismanaged my planes. I tried to get them to circle out and around to get them away from my enemy's AA net, and instead I flew them right into an enemy air superiority fighter just to really drive home the message of, hey, today's just not my day. So if any of you guys are just having that day on Wargame where it's just not your day and you're watching this and you're still hanging around, I do appreciate all of the support you guys can give me on YouTube. It's been a little bit rough going lately, and yeah, I mean, every little bit helps. In terms of kills and losses, 8745 to 6480 is brutal, and I did not contribute to that very positively, as I'm about 250 points underwater here, but Firemelon did very well, Horse Girdle 90 did very well, and really Firemelon carried this entire game. But we did have a couple units that did okay. The H.A. Abrams at the start, if I could have kept him alive, that would have added up to a decent sort of kill list. Nighthawk did get a Twardy before I threw that plane away for nothing. And my Block 52 got a couple kills. I mean, look at that. That's a 912A, that's a Thermomig, Mi-24 helicopter, Su-7BM bomber, and then the Hornet with a Wilk and a Twardy in a single run was nice to see. So that's what we've got for you guys today. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.